This is the RIOT podcast. It's actually the last one for the week.
Yeah, the last one for us together as well.
Yeah, so Hudson is going to be back to normal tomorrow. He'll be with Nikki on Monday.
Yeah.
I'll be out on Monday. And then the RIOT will be back to quote-unquote normal.
Right, as normal as you get.
On Tuesday.
And hopefully, by that point, everybody will be healthy, including you.
Yeah, Nikki has been sick.
Yep.
I have been sick. Nikki and I seem to both have acquired the same cold, whereas everybody else had some kind of a stomach bug.
Yes.
And I'm trying to make sure that they don't cross-pollinate.
Oh, so yeah, that would be bad.
I've been scrubbing the board. Let me tell you what, the mic just stinks of Lysol. Like,
Yeah.
I do not like the smell. It's been good that I've disinfected it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the smell of the Lysol is not something I'm excited about.
The fumes, they're probably getting to you a little bit.
No, I don't like it. So, well, you guys enjoyed today's podcast. In it, you will hear, let's see, Canadian cough syrup. There's a lot of Marvel movie talk.
Yeah.
And then, probably most importantly, the Battle of the Buzz.
Oh, yeah.
In which we try different kinds of grocery store coffee to see if more money equals better coffee.
Right.
So,
and we're not going to give it away what we thought. You have to listen.
But if you want to, you can actually check out the archive on Facebook as well. If you want to watch us drink the coffee, you can find that by going to facebook.com/RadioU or RadioU Riot. While you're there, click follow and like and follow.
Yeah.
Keep getting that backwards.
And
today.
you could even do the get notified thing.
Yeah.
So that you know when we post stuff.
You know that it's coming.
Because it's worth seeing.
Oh, I mean,
Always.
we wouldn't put it on there if it wasn't.
Yeah.
So you guys have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Will we? I don't know.
I won't.
Bye.
Leftovers from the most disgusting meal you've ever had. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Yeah. Still sick. Still a thing.
That's it.
Yeah, the thing I'm trying to figure out, though, is I'm trying to figure out if I should go to the doctor today. Because what I can't decide is, am I feeling better? Because I kind of am. Or is it what I did yesterday? Because yesterday, I was like, man, nothing's working.
Right.
Like, I left early yesterday, and I was so messed up, like, almost all day and whatever. And I finally went over to a drugstore, and I was like, all right, here's my ID. I want the good stuff.
Yeah, the maximum strength that we talked about.
Exactly. Well, see, the thing is, NyQuil Severe, the maximum strength, that's the kind of stuff they put in front of the counter.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a next level behind the counter. But it's the behind the counter that you don't need a doctor's note for.
Oh.
So I got the real deal pseudoephedrine, whatever. Can I just tell you? That stuff actually works because I took that and it was just like, what? Huh? What? Like my nose is not running into my throat anymore.
Right.
What happened? So that was totally worth it. And I guess this is it's the stuff that people make meth out of. And maybe your meth addiction starts with a sinus infection. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure.
You're going to come back in a couple weeks and you're going to be,
I've been awake for 3 days.
Yeah, right.
Take apart the studio.
It's not going to be good.
No, I don't know. But, dude, that is the stuff right there. Illegal in some states, but in my home state, you just got to show them your ID. You sign for it.
Yeah.
And you get it.
How unfair is that? Like, you just, for other states, you just have a cold. I just want some relief. Sorry, sir. Some people make meth out of this. So, unfortunately,
you're out of luck.
You cannot have this.
Well, I can tell you that in the state of Oregon, you can't get it without a prescription.
Okay.
And I have family members there that are like, hey, you're coming out. Could you do me a favor? Could you go buy one of the big boxes of the real Sudafed? And I've done it.
Semi-related story. Actually, very related. In Canada, have you heard of Buckley's?
No.
Buckley's is this cough syrup. It tastes like death, but it really works. And I don't think you can buy it here in the U.S., so we've had, like me and my family, anytime we go to Canada, there are people who will say, you have to bring back Buckley's because it's the only cough syrup that actually makes a difference. It is amazing. That is something we need to taste test one day.
Buckley's?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that in my life, but I want to know what the active ingredient is in Buckley's.
I will have to look it up.
All right, I want to look into this because if you're telling me,
it's amazing.
Because last night, all day yesterday, I hacked and coughed until I literally my head was pounding. I felt so bad yesterday. And then getting the pseudoephedrine, I still coughed a lot, but I feel like it tapered off. And then last night I took, like NyQuil cough, which is an antihistamine and a cough thing, but I also took the Sudafed with it. And I'm not going to say I had a good night of sleep because that's a lie, but I didn't spend the whole night coughing.
Right.
So that's something.
a start. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting somewhere. Now you just add Buckley's into that, and then maybe you'll be good to go.
Yeah. Now, the amazing thing is I talked to Nikki yesterday. Nikki also has a really bad cold.
Ooh.
But her cold started on Sunday. Mine started on Monday, and she said she was starting to feel better. So
maybe your time is coming.
Fingers crossed on that, right?
The part that keeps me up at night, we paid them for this. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
It's time
good day. Welcome to the Great White North.
for us to journey to the Great White North to talk about Canadian cough syrup.
Yes. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready, dude. What do you got?
You're not buckled in. You don't know what Buckley's is. You aren't prepared.
Well, I'm not Canadian like you.
No, you're not. But even as a Canadian, the first time I had Buckley's, there's just nothing that can get you ready for this. So it is a cough syrup that is only available in Canada, and apparently, I mean, maybe this is because it's medicine, but you can't buy it online, at least not that I see.
Man, you can. I got it right here on Amazon.
You do? Amazon?
Buckley's Original Cough Congestion Syrup Original Mixture.
Yes,
is what
that's
it
the
says.
right thing.
It's expensive.
Well,
$19 for a bottle of
It's not
Buckley's.
that expensive if you just buy it in real life. But
okay. All right.
and
Well,
that's
maybe
Amazon.
it's the import tax.
Yeah, that's what it is. So here we have the active ingredients, and they start you off with a doozy. Ammonium carbonate.
Okay, sure.
Ammonium is like that's what they use in like glass cleaner and stuff, and cat litter and I think
they gotta clean you out, man.
It also has potassium bicarbonate, menthol, and camphor. But then here's the other thing that's like interesting. It's not an active ingredient, but pine needle oil.
Pine needle oil. Dude, you can
even it out or something. I don't know.
No, you can hear that right now. Somebody is like, my great-grandmother was something, and she came to Canada. And the native Canadians, was that the Inuits?
The Inuits? There are Inuits.
Okay.
Yeah, the First Nations.
And she encountered the Inuits, and they gave her pine needle oil.
Right.
And it cured her of her cold, which is why we put this in all Buckley's Original Mixture mixes. You know that's what it is, man.
It's something. It has to be something like that, because why else would you think to put that in anything?
It's an essential oil. We didn't say a voluntary oil. We didn't say a maybe oil. It's essential. It's right there in the name, man. So, yeah, there you go. You've got some essential pine needle oil.
Let's just make this ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's go buy some ammonium carbonate and pine needle oil and you know, serve it right up.
Well,
instead of cooking meth, we're going to cook Buckley's.
Yeah, we are. Come on. The one thing that I will say that you might want to be aware of is CVS also sells Buckley's, but the version that they sell just has dextromorphin or whatever the heck it is.
That's not right.
And that's basically...
That's just your
regular. That's like NyQuil, whatever, Robitussin. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah, this is not that. This is, it's like drinking cat litter.
Yeah, this is the real stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I see you can get it on Amazon, but you're right. I don't think you can just walk in somewhere and pick it up.
Which is too bad.
We should get some of this.
Let's take a trip to Canada.
Maybe we just pay the premium and get it off of Amazon.
Yeah, you want to pay the $20?
Well, I mean, like, how much is it in Canada? Like, what do you... it's probably $8 or $9,
yeah,
right?
probably like half that.
So we're probably paying like a double
maybe
premium.
It's a really big bottle.
Well, 200 milliliters? That's not a big...
No.
That's not a big bottle. But thank you, Amazon, for the price breakdown that it's 9 cents per milliliter. I really appreciate that math. So that helps me make my purchasing decision. So thank you for that. Dude, we should... I'm not saying we're going to do it right now, but the next time I get a cold, by the time it gets here...
Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to do it for the next time you get a cold, not just for fun.
I mean, it's science, dude.
Right.
This is science. And at the rate I've been going, I should have a cold again in 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah,
so
about a month from now or so.
That's something to look forward to.
All right, I'll be back. We'll do it.
When life is this good, you don't need a vacation. So, get back to work. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Something Hudson and I are trying to figure out is, do we have Marvel fatigue? Because we are 3 weeks out from Avengers Infinity War.
Wow, yeah, I can't believe it.
I don't have tickets.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not looking forward to it. Now, that's a statement that would make many people go like, oh, you hate it. No, I didn't say that. I don't hate it. But I feel like I am taking a step in a particular direction by not looking forward to it. It's
so
that
eventually, like that, this is one step along the road to eventually when Marvel movies come out, you just don't even care. And you don't see them the opening weekend. You don't read reviews. Eventually, is that what's going to happen?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Is that eventually what happens? Is this the first step in that direction?
I don't know. Like it could be. I just feel like the thing that's happening is not that we're fatigued as far as we're eventually not going to care about them, but it's just fatigue as far as you don't get excited anymore because it's not as much of an event because it happens too often.
Well, it's kind of like, do you get excited? Let's say there's a TV show that you like to watch.
Yeah.
And it comes on, whatever. Like you don't say to yourself, like, I'm so excited, I can't stand it.
Right.
Like you still want to see it. Of course, you still want to see it, but it happens every week.
Right.
So you're just like,
who watches TV every week anymore?
I know somebody does. Somewhere does. I don't know.
Maybe for Game of Thrones they do, but generally no. It's like okay, when you pay attention to the news and they talk about how there's like once a month it feels like there's an eclipse thing. And
right.
So if it wasn't the case, and usually it's not very impressive, if they only told us about the really cool eclipse that happens once every 5 years, you would be excited for that, and you would maybe watch it.
Right.
But when they tell you about one every couple months, then eventually you're just like, well, maybe I'll see it if I see it, but I'm not going to go out of my way, and it's not that exciting. I feel like it's along those lines. So yeah, to me, I'm not going to not see Avengers, and I'm still like I have a little bit of excitement for it, but it's not the same as it has been for past Avengers and past Marvel movies in general.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, because I ran into a friend of mine a couple days ago, and he's like, oh, man, you got your Avengers tickets yet? I'm so like, he was legit pumped about it. And I respect that. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I was just like, my indifference, I didn't even recognize my indifference until I came into contact with his enthusiasm. And I was like, oh, I mean, I was just going to wander over there and grab a ticket for an afternoon showing.
Right.
Like, I wasn't like, because I'm probably going to I may end up just movie passing it by myself. So I'm like, whatever. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe
the movie pass
has turned it into a thing where I'm like, I'll get to it, whatever.
Yeah. The one thing I don't get about it.
Might be a thing.
Yeah. The one thing I don't get, though, is for the past two, with Black Panther and Thor, and even going back to Spider-Man, not as much, but definitely Black Panther and Thor, there was excitement for me leading up to it. So that's one thing that maybe makes me question a little bit why I'm not as excited for this one.
Maybe I'm just 2 movies ahead of you, meaning that like I'm a little indifferent, but right now you've still got whatever. Maybe you are, by the end of this year, you'll be where I'm at right now. You'll be like, what's the next Marvel movie?
When Infinity War 2 comes out, I'm going to be a little less enthused.
That's not a thing anymore.
Well, I know it's not called that, but they're making another one.
They are. I'm just saying there was Avengers Infinity War 1 and 2. Now they
just changed the name.
Something else. Maybe this one will be 4 hours long. They're like, you know what? We just kept going. Peter Jackson was on set. We couldn't stop.
Well, that would hurt their money situation, though.
It would.
The Riot talks about wanting a day off, but when do we get a day off from them?
Whoa! You suck at this!
It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Keep in mind, you can text anytime you like. Hudson and I are here, and, we're checking, seeing what's going on right now.
We do see them.
So let's see. I've got an unnamed text. Make sure they tell us, hey, when you guys do your taste test in a little bit, make sure you drink the coffee black. No cream, no sugar.
Of course.
Absolutely. Because
that's how I do it every day.
Coming up in about an hour, we're going to taste test a bunch of different grocery store coffees to see if we can tell the difference between the cheapest
and
Maxwell
House.
The most expensive.
Yes.
Admittedly, not a huge swath there. Yeah. Like, that's not a huge spread.
The price range isn't that crazy, and we got 3, but it's a start. And, I mean, there's a lot of coffees, and we only have so many coffee makers. So.
Yeah. Hudson, Randall wants to know what we think the best Marvel movie is.
This is something I've thought a lot about.
Okay.
So I'm semi-prepared to say that it's a very tough call. However, if I had to choose, I would probably say Winter Soldier.
You think Winter Soldier's the best?
Captain America Winter Soldier is the one that sticks out to me as probably the best. Although Civil War is close. There's a couple others that are close, but I would lean to Winter Soldier.
I think that's pretty fair. I think Winter Soldier has been the one that I have gone back to and watched the most.
Okay.
That like when it's time to watch a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's a good choice.
That really draws me in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do really like the most recent Thor, although I've only seen it once. And the thing, like, Winter Soldier and Civil War, they're Marvel movies, so they have their comedy and, like, they're entertaining throughout. But they have more of a serious plot that I actually take seriously. In Thor, it didn't have as much of that. It was entertaining as all get out.
Right.
But it maybe wasn't as good, as well acted and and had as good of a story as some of those other ones.
I would say that I do think the performances are as good, but they're comedic performances. So it's different. It's different. It is a different kind of thing. I like the gravitas of Winter Soldier, which I always want to call Civil War, even though that's not right.
Right.
I don't think Civil War is as good as Winter Soldier, even though it's very good.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the Marvel movies, a lot of times they can have such different tones. But going back, man, Hudson, that might be the answer for me. Like Winter Soldier might still be at the top because
I think so. Like
Guardians is good, but I don't think it's as good.
Yeah.
And Guardians, I felt like is one that I watched a bunch when it came out, but I don't feel like I can go back to it again and watch it.
I definitely didn't like the first Guardians as much as, I like it. I like all the Marvel movies, but Guardians definitely, for me, I didn't have the same level as everybody else did.
That's the thing, though. Like right now, you're talking about comparing awesome and awesome. Yeah. So it's like, which is more awesomer? It's not a matter of one of them being bad. It just means, maybe one you like more than the other. Well, Ryan in Midland says Winter Soldier is awesome and has great action, but I got to say Thor 3 is the best. My favorite part is Thor versus Hulk.
Spoiler alert.
I think that might have been in the trailer. I think
it was in the trailer.
On that,
See, this is why you need to go trailer free.
Oh man, don't get Hudson started on trailer free.
Worst of the riot, not enough. Check the blog and all things Riot at riot.radiou.com.
Now, you guys might not know this, but Hudson he's a principled man.
I am. That is for sure.
He's not somebody that just does what he wants, when he wants, and whatever. So, Hudson, what's your story on movie trailers?
Well, I had a big experience back when Thor came out.
The original Thor?
No, the Thor Ragnarok from a couple months ago.
All right. Okay.
So, admittedly, this principle I've had to be trailer free is not a very long-standing one, but I've held to it. And so
starting
at some point leading up to the release of Thor, because what did it for me is in the Thor Ragnarok trailer, you see the Hulk. And like the Hulk bursts out and whatever, and then Thor says he's a friend from work, I know him, whatever, right? A great movie moment. However, it's in the trailer.
True.
So what I thought was, think about how crazy that moment would have been if you're in the movies and seeing this for the first time and you don't know what's coming, and then bam, out comes the Hulk. Okay. And that is ruined by the trailer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So from that moment,
basically, you're getting your surprise early. Someone giving you a peek at one of your Christmas presents.
But it's also like, think about that in the context of the movie. It would be way cooler to see that for the first time than seeing it for the first time in the trailer, right?
Right. Okay.
I think it would massively increase your enjoyment of the movie if you had that shock factor the first time. So all that being said, since that moment, I have been trailer free for movies. It's not for every single movie ever. Like I've seen the Rampage trailer, okay? Yeah. But when there's a movie,
it's hard to avoid trailers if you're going to the movies.
Well, that's why you just gotta put your head down, close your eyes. Some people I know that are trailer free will walk out of the theater, or they'll have headphones in or something during the trailers. I get that. I don't think hearing stuff usually spoils it that much. Although I guess in the case of the Hulk and Thor would have done that. So, you can put your fingers in your ears, you can do whatever, or you can just get there after the trailers start. But my thing is just, for movies that I already know I'm going to see, like for Infinity War, I don't need to see the trailer. I'm already going to see it. I don't want any part of the movie to be spoiled for me in the trailer, because that may decrease my enjoyment of seeing it for the first time in the movie.
Okay, so then what movie have you seen trailer free?
Black Panther.
Okay, so you didn't see a single trailer for Black Panther.
Did not see a trailer for Black Panther.
I feel like that's a movie that had a trailer that didn't ruin very much of the movie.
Okay. Well, I mean, in a perfect world, that's what trailers would be.
Right.
Where they would get you excited, they would make you interested, but they also don't have any spoily moments.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, like the way the culture surrounding movies have gone, it's one of those things where they're like, hey, all right, we've got the teaser for the teaser.
Right.
We've got the actual teaser trailer. Then we've got the preview for the trailer, and then the second preview for the trailer.
Right.
Then the worldwide trailer launch, like on and on and on and on and on. So, like, the trailers themselves are almost like mini films at this point.
And and that's something that I regret.
Okay.
About our society.
So you're trailer free. That's it. No trailers.
Yes, for that, I'm trying to think.
You've seen no Infinity War trailers?
I have not seen a second of Infinity War trailers.
Okay. All right.
Well, and I feel good about it.
I don't feel bad about it, though. I'll have to say that I don't feel like the effort it will require for me to not see the trailer and not be spoiled, that feels like more effort than it's worth to me.
It's really not that hard.
Sure?
You just don't look.
Just don't look. Right. I feel like that would include me basically swearing off the internet. Even the headlines are spoiled.
Oh, come on. They're not auto playing, are they? Not for you?
Right, but I just mean that, like, there's enough, like, headlines, like, did you see blank, or, like, whatever, that I think it would be hard to stay completely spoiler-free going into a movie. Maybe not.
I haven't had that much of a problem with it. Well, I feel good.
Yeah, and you're a principled man.
I'm making it work.
Starting your day with the worst of the riot is a great idea because it's guaranteed to get better from here. It's The Riot on RadioU.
All right, Hudson, who do you think knows you better? You or the people you work with?
Man, I think I know myself better. But you know different things about me that I just can't know about myself. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, my thing is, a lot of times I think, like, okay, if somebody said, hey, what annoys you? I might come up with a list of things that annoy me. Like, I can't stand this or I can't stand that. But, dude, your roommates are way more tuned in to what annoys you than you are. You're like, no, bro, I got this. I know what really annoys me. They're the ones that know.
Right.
Because they've seen, like, they've wandered into that territory and they've seen the reaction.
Right.
The other thing that's weird is, and you don't think this, because, like, let's face it, all of us have had that time where we look at our parents and, like, you don't know me. You don't know what I'm about. But, dude, your parents know all kinds of crap about you. They're like, they know what food you like and the food you pretend to like. They know what happens when you get sick because, like, they've been watching you get sick for 20 years or, like, whatever.
That is an important level of knowledge.
Yeah, it's weird.
Very intimate.
It's weird, but, like, there are people in your life that know more about you than you know about yourself.
Right.
Well, let me smack you with one more fact here. God knows more about you than you do. Now, look, I know you've got a different perspective. You're on the inside looking out. But I'm telling you, God is looking at you and he knows stuff about you. He knows, for example, there's stuff that's happened in your life that's hurt you that you've kind of blown off and you're like, that doesn't affect me. I'm done. I'm past that. And God's like, you're only fooling yourself. Like, he knows what's going on inside your heart. He knows what's going on in your life. And you might think to yourself, God's got nothing to do with me. I know me. I know what's best for me. There's actually somebody that knows you better than you know yourself. Jesus not only knows you, but take some comfort in this. He knows you and he loves you. And he, knowing all this stuff about you, wants to have a relationship with you. The stuff that you think that you've left behind, that you haven't, the wounds that you've got that need healed, the way to do things maybe a little bit differently than what you're doing right now, heck, maybe a lot differently, you should take some time and check in with God. He knows you. He knows what you need, and he wants to be there with you, not just today, not just this weekend, all day, every day, all the time. And invite him in. You've pushed a lot of people away. This is somebody you need to invite a little bit closer. Say, Jesus, I want that. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I need to know some stuff, and I want you to show me. The man God is going to do that. He's going to be with you, even when you're trying all these different kinds of coffee. That's something we're doing in a few minutes. Take some time. Talk to God right now about where you're at and what's going on.
Having a bad day? Blame the Riot. Everyone else does. And in fairness, it's probably their fault. Radio U.
Good morning, Hudson. Good morning, Zach.
Yo.
Morning.
All right. So here's the deal. We've got our cheap grocery store coffee right now. And we are about to test. Can we determine of the cheap grocery store coffees, like which one is the best?
Yeah.
So
will the best one be the most expensive is what we want to know.
And we wanted to make sure that we got it in such a way that we broke everything up. So Hudson and Zach have been in the break room brewing the coffee.
Right.
So they know which ones went into which pot. But I went in not knowing that and poured it out into cups.
Right.
So I don't know which coffee is which. You guys don't know which number is which.
Right.
We have actually managed to have a blind taste test.
It is complete.
I was going to say, so are we ever going to know what is what?
Absolutely.
We will
figure it out.
compare notes after we taste them.
Afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how we're going to do that. Okay, let's see. You guys ready for number one?
Let's do
Numero
number one.
uno.
Okay, so let's see. Number one, we've got...
You got to give a sniff test.
Sniff test.
All right. Smells okay.
Smells like coffee.
Yeah.
All right, actually, you know what? Before we do this, which brands did you get? Because I don't think we've actually said
we
that.
should
we should probably know that.
Okay, so I got house blends of each. So for the cheapest one, we went with Maxwell House.
Okay.
That's the cheapest one, the Maxwell House.
That's the worst
blend.
coffee ever. Okay.
Okay. Then we have, for the middle of the road, we have Caribou Coffee, their house blend.
I did.
Okay. And then to go up, the most expensive one they had that was ground coffee was Pete's Coffee, which surprised me a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if that's actually going to pay off and be number one or not.
All right. Okay, here we go. Let's start with number one.
Numero
You said,
uno.
and we said the smell was...
Bland?
Yeah.
It's kind of bland
All right.
at the moment.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Very acidic. Like, that is not good.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not. I think I could drink. I think I could handle this. I think it's drinkable.
Zach, what do you think about that one?
There's no taste.
Yeah, I just feel like it's hot acid.
Yeah.
Not like burn you dead acid, but it's just really... There's not a lot to that.
All right.
I'm thinking, all right, so let's see. Number
Maybe
two.
not a favorite.
All
Could
right.
that be the Maxwell House?
Maybe. I don't know.
All right. Number two.
Number two has a more... Like...
That's more earthy smell to it.
Yeah,
do you
like
think?
it has a little more like something to it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right, here we go.
That's a weird one. Oh, that's...
I think I know which one that is, and I don't think I like it.
That is not... I don't like
The
that.
other one tasted way better. Number one is definitely better than
number one
two.
had a stronger taste.
Yeah.
Two has a weaker taste.
It has a weaker taste,
Yeah.
and if you look at it, you can
You
practically
can see.
grounds
I was
in
gonna
it.
say that beforehand. You can actually kind of see the ground.
That
So
may
I don't know if
be
that was the maker.
associated with the machine, because we had one machine that was different than the others.
Okay.
So that may be why that one is different.
All right. Okay. Let's go to number
three.
All right. Please, somebody tell me that I like one of these cups of coffee. And to be clear, these are black. There's no sugar in them. There's no whatever.
This is a real, based on the coffee itself.
Ooh, that's got a bite to it.
Yeah, that one's more bitter for sure.
Like that is a.
I
that
like
is
it,
a
though.
Bite. You like this one better? Let's see.
Better than two. I need to do like a 1-3 comparison.
Yeah, I know.
I agree.
Two to me is probably the worst in this bunch.
Yeah.
Like,
Two is definitely the worst.
yeah. Okay. So let's go like 1 to 3.
Number one again. Okay.
Okay. One is my favorite.
One seems a little warmer.
Okay.
Warm in taste.
Let's
Not
see.
that makes any sense.
I
but-
think I like three slightly better. But honestly, I feel like I could eat either or drink either of these and drink them black and be okay with it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Like I have landed on what is.
So we're gonna hope that two is Maxwell House.
Well, we'll see. Like I've landed on my pecking order.
Yeah.
You guys pick your pecking order. We'll come back and we'll see. Like, hey, which one of these did we actually think was the best, and we
which
find
one is
out
which.
what's what. Okay.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
We're in the middle of our Battle of the Buzz coffee edition, in which we have picked 3 coffees from the grocery store. Hudson actually did that yesterday, and we've decided to brew them and see if we can decide which coffee is the best.
Right. All right.
So,
are we ready with our rankings?
you
and then
know
we'll
what?
find out which one is which.
I want to go back through them one more time.
Okay.
Because I think
I tasted them about 20 times side by side. I knew 2 was the worst, but I tried 3 and 1 side by side several times in different orders over the past few minutes, and I have a decision.
Okay, for me, 1 and 3 are super close.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they're hard to differentiate between. 2 is easily, I think, the worst.
Yeah,
in this lineup.
Completely agree.
Like there's just no way it's not the worst. So I'm gonna say that it was Pete's.
Yep.
And
Caribou and Maxwell House.
Okay, I think the Caribou is number 1.
Okay.
I think the Pete's is number 3.
Okay.
And I think the Maxwell House is number 2.
I'm very confident that number 2 is Maxwell House.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay, so, Zach, what do you think about between 1 and 3? Which one is the Pete's? Which one is the other?
Which one is which? I don't know exactly. I do know, as far as, like, what I would drink, like, as far as, like, the mood I'm in, if I really need to wake up, I would choose this 3 option because it's a little bit stronger.
It's a little stronger. Yeah.
And 1 is, I mean, it's definitely got the flavor, but it's good.
Okay.
So,
right.
But which one is which? I haven't really had Pete's before, so I don't really know what it tastes like.
I'm spitballing.
I don't know the Pete's flavor, but
Okay.
if I were to throw something there, I would call it 3.
I'm going to say real quick that I have 3 being the best, but I don't know which one is which. I think 3 is slightly better than number 1, and 2 is definitely the worst, but I don't know which one is Pete's or Caribou, so I'm interested to find out.
See, I feel like we are in a place where 1 and 3 are both acceptable, and it's down to personal taste.
Right.
Because I
agree.
I prefer 1, but both of you seem to have zeroed in on the fact that I like weak coffee.
Yeah.
So maybe my vote of confidence for 1 is not a good vote, quite frankly.
Maybe not, yeah.
Okay, so the order was I went in and did 1, 2, 3. So 1 was like the 6-cup brewer.
Okay.
2 was the like single cup brewer, and 3 was the station coffee.
Okay.
brewer.
Okay. So 3,
we were right.
3 is Pete's.
Yep.
3 is
2
Pete's.
is Maxwell House, and 1 is Caribou.
Okay, then I got it right.
Yeah.
I was able to. So
You figured it out.
Which one was the most expensive?
Pete's.
Which was number 1?
Number 3.
Oh.
Pete's is number 3. So,
Man, so
Zach and I each have slightly more expensive tastes, but this whole thing taught me, or it was evidence that, like, between Pete's and Caribou, and there's a $3 difference or so, or there may be more or less depending on where you shop, but there's no reason to go for Pete's when the Caribou is just as good, pretty much, and much cheaper in percentage-wise.
All right, Zach, what do you think? Like, do you think that he's right? Do you think that you could go with Caribou? It's just as good.
Oh, I would say it's just as good.
Okay.
I think it might also compare to the different coffee makers.
Yeah,
The makers, and also of how each one of us makes the coffee too.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, like, you could make Caribou even stronger than
Right,
it is.
if you want it stronger, but we did them exactly the same,
Yes, we
just
did.
to be clear. So
Right. Okay, so Caribou won for me, but it looks like once you get past Maxwell House, there's some feature parity
There is an obvious difference. Like, get past the not as good stuff and get to the good quality level. We'll be set.
Man, okay. Well, next we just got to find some civet poop coffee. See if we can make that work right there.
How does Nikki put up with Obadiah day after day? It's easy. We pay her. Radio U.
Thanks, Chris. Actually, it's not Chris's fault. Chris and I were talking about the iPad, and I forgot. Hey, this is a show.
Yeah.
We're on the air.
We're
a
working
thing.
right now.
Oh my
this is our
gosh, dude.
job to talk and pay attention to when we're supposed to talk.
Hey, speaking of jobs and speaking of problems, how much did it hurt you when Vin Diesel and The Rock were fighting on the set of Fast and Furious 8?
Was that happening?
Furious 8.
Is that real?
No, it's real, dude. It's real.
Wow.
They had a problem.
They did not get along on the job. They didn't work well with others.
No, man, The Rock gave a tell-all interview that hit yesterday. And see, the only reason we're talking about this, Hudson, is that you yesterday told me what a huge fan you are of Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like how you just can't get enough of him. And
Every one of his movies.
When I read this
Love it.
last night, I was like, man, Hudson has probably already seen this.
Yeah.
So we don't even need to talk about it. But
I'm so torn up about it. I love, if there's two things I love, it's The Rock and Vin Diesel. Two actors that are above reproach.
Yeah. I mean,
never make a bad movie.
They make the best choices both in the movies they'll make and then the acting choices they make in the films they do.
Whether it's The Tooth Fairy, The Pacifier, Triple X,
The Last Witch Hunter.
Yep, whatever it is. Never bad.
Never bad.
I see everyone, and I enjoy them all.
Absolutely at the top of their game at all times. But yeah, like if you watch Furious 8, they have, I think, one scene together, or it might not be any scenes together. And it was basically because they were like, nope, we're not doing that. And it seems like everything we heard was true, that Furious 8 had a closing like teaser sequence because they're making a Fast and Furious spinoff movie right now with The Rock and Jason Statham.
Right.
So like those two characters are getting a spinoff movie. And originally there was a tagged in scene on Furious 8 that Vin Diesel had removed because that's how much he doesn't like The Rock.
That's crazy.
So apparently
I mean, maybe that feud is smart though. Like now they can have two spinoffs. They can just make, instead of having one Fast and Furious movie come out every 2 years, you can have the Rock edition one year and then have a Vin Diesel edition and have their own story arcs from there.
Man, dude, Hudson,
Make even more money.
I feel like your scope is limited. I want a spin-off film for every character.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Fast and Furious movies, that's the Avengers, and then every character has a spin-off trilogy.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm looking for. That would be great.
That's what we're all waiting for.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, every character that's ever been featured in a Fast and Furious film, I want a spin-off movie.
Tyrese spin-off movie.
Absolutely. Like, everybody gets one. That's the cinematic universe. I want to. Not everyone.
Not everyone.
Okay.
Oh.
Well. You know, Chris.
I know what you're saying, Chris.
You know what, Chris? Too soon, buddy.
Yeah.
Too soon.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Next, we just got to find some civet poop coffee.